But then in 1957, the locomotive was saved from scrap and was placed on display in the Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan, where it remained from 1957 until the early 1980s. In 1981, the 1225 was donated to MSTRP by MSU just off campus and was later moved to former Ann Arbor Railway Steam Locomotive Shop in Owasso, Michigan, where the Tuscola and Saginaw Bay Railroad was formed in the midst of restoration, its top speed 70 miles per hour. In November 1985, the 1225 moved under its own power for the first time since 1951. Its first train excursion serviced in 1988, a 12-mile, quote-unquote, 19 kilometers trial runs between Owasso and Chesaning. 2 years later, 1225 rode the former PM mainline. This time on 2 freight trains ran a test trial to determine if the locomotive was suited for National Railway Historical Society convention next year. 1991, the 1221 was paired up with nickel plate cousin number 765 at Lima, Ohio. Along the way to Huntington, West Virginia, where they both attended NRHS conventions. Although one fitting bend on the track was the 1225 had been slapped with a 20 miles per hour speed restriction for lacking a speedometer on the board. Due to the fact a FRA inspector didn't realize the steam part rules, one of the highlights of the doubleheader trek to Cincinnati in fading light was a whistle-blow tribute to now decaying abandoned foundation of the Lima Locomotive Works, the birthplace since the early 40s in World War II for Michigan Foundation for Preservation member Rod Crawford. It was an emotional moment for the 765 and 1225, becoming a duo together before the doubleheader was formed in Lima. It was frosting to a cake for Rod. For 2 days, through Cincinnati and on to Huntington, both the 284s hauled real freight trains since they were assigned for fast service on the main line. Before dieselization, the locomotive ran until 2009 when it suffered a fuel failure during the train festival 2009 and was unable to pull passenger train during the event. It later suffered another fuel failure in December 2009. The 1225 went out of service in 2010 for 15 years inspection, and its overhaul would begin in January 2010. It returned to service late November 2013 for runs and pulled its first train since it returned to service. 1225 has remained operational since. Then in 2002, Warner Bros. Approached the engine and had its blueprints. There we are. Sorry. Images and sounds. Images and sounds used for the 2004 Christmas holiday film The Polar Express, starring Tom Hanks, Chris Van Allsburg. The author of the original book stated that he used to play on the 1225 as a kid while attending football games in the college, that he couldn't believe it was the same engine that was based off the train in his book. However, the whistle in the film was produced by Sierra Railroad Number 3 instead of locomotive tradition 1225 traditional whistle. 1225 number is a obvious parallel to the date of Christmas Day, which is 12 on the 25th. 1225 also appears in the Marshall Productions 70-minute video, lots and lots of really big steam trains.